Well, good morning there. So you want to know about pre-trip, huh? Well, let me go get this fill real quick, and I'll get back to you with the pre-trip. Just hold tight. Word of advice, y'all. If you're using your business credit card or any kind of debit card of any sort at the pump, you only are pretty much allowed to get $100. Let me see if I can get it. You're only allowed to get $100 worth. But then look at this prices right here, though. Let me see. I definitely gotta come back here. But pretty much it's $2.87 per gallon. But at least at QT they print the receipt out at the pump, so you ain't gotta walk inside. So if you're starting to fill with your own with your own debit cards or things like that, make sure that, especially if you want to do more than $100, be sure to go inside and, put however much you want to put on there. Because if you try to do it just from the pump, it's only going to let you pump only $100. Yeah. But finally, we can get to this video about trip planning. So I'm going to try to breeze through this because I just shut down and I'm sleepy. So, my morning has already started, as y'all see. So pretty much, let's get started. I mean, it's really fairly easy when it comes to trip planning because nowadays this is new technology to where back in the day, a lot of guys used to only use the maps to where now, most of the time, most drivers, especially new drivers, all they do is pretty much get the address, plug it into their GPS. But you got to become more experienced and advanced in it, because you don't want a lazy trip planning to turn into a disaster because you didn't truly plan ahead as far as things like where you want to stop at, where you want to fuel at, like is the shipper really on a small street, how many small streets are you going to come up on, are there any low clearance bridges around there, like it's so many things you want to kind of consider when you think about trip planning, because it can be very detrimental to you getting there safely and timely. So, let's try to get through this real quick and we will see. Now, this is optional, but I would really consider it a great investment because you might not have to pull this out ever, but you never know if you have to pull it out. Like, when I got off my trainer's truck, because I started at Prime, but I'm with USA now, she still was old school to where she only bought a GPS because I was a student on her truck. But she used this thing right here, so by her kind of training me, she got on my goddamn nerves, but she did drill in my head to always have a map on your truck, because GPSs are always not 100% guaranteed. They do go out, they do lose power, they can mislead you, and some areas are so jacked up to where you might have to pull this out. And this has so many great information in it to where why not have one? I really need to get an up-to-date one because this is a 2017. I believe I had got this from Prime store, and their store got cheaper things, and I only got this one for $35. But one of the main things that I would pull it out for, because when I go through, or when I'm traveling on my trip, I want to know what states that I'm going to travel through if you don't remember the 48, United States map. So that's one of the things that you can find in here. That's one of the first maps that is going to be in this book is it's one of the first like graphical maps in here that's going to show in the book. And this is what it looks like. I'm going to try to get a smaller picture so that I can post it up on my dash, so that way it's conveniently posted to where I can always conveniently see what state I'm going through. Because I like to know which states I have to pass through so I can kind of prepare myself on what state is what. So this is your 48 state map right here. And it pretty much breaks it down from East Coast to West Coast. So if you really look at this can kind of teach you your interstates, your highways, your streets. Like, it can teach you everything you need to know, especially about the major highways. So as you see, it like these little blue lines, they're interstates, they're major highways. so it can kind of tell you like where you could be at. That's why I said having a map is optional, but why not have it? Because you just never know. To me, it's like having, say you buy a phone and they offer you insurance on the phone. You don't have to get the insurance, but if you break that phone and you didn't get the insurance, now you mad because you can't replace the insurance. Replace the phone. Now the phone is probably dead and broke because you didn't get the insurance. So that's just an analogy. You don't have to have this, but I would, because you just really don't never know. I've even tried using it before. You see where I started drawing it and stuff like that. It doesn't hurt to learn how to read the map. So pretty much, like I said, you get on. Let me get my tablet. All right, hold on, guys. But pretty much, you pick your loads. Let me get to my driver's hub. But this is kind of just random loads. But you pick your loads. That's the first step. That's if you are on the app or lease app. But most likely, most of the time, people are company drivers. So if you're a company driver, you want to get your load sent to you. So if your load's going to be sent to you, you're going to get the address off your Qualcomm, your PeoplesNet. If they text it to you, however they send you the address, get the address first of all, and then you're going to, depending on what GPS you have, you're going to plug it in. And a lot of times, the difficulty truly comes when the address don't want to show up. Like say I punched in 2 West Bumblefuck, and 2 West Bumblefuck ain't going to show up. Now, the best thing you could try to do is to type in a cross street. And the way you can get a cross street is now, since it's not coming up in your GPS, you use your phone to type the address in, and you do a Google search. And once you do the Google, maps, you're going to kind of zero in to the streets to get the closest cross street that you can get to the address. And that's the best way that you can get in a vicinity. So once you get in the vicinity with the cross streets on your truck GPS, never use your phone to take you completely to the destination. Only experienced truck drivers can use their phone because they know not to follow a GPS. They know how to look at a street and to know if they should be on it first of all, or to know if they should just keep going straight. Most experienced drivers know how to use the phone. But as a new person, never use your phone to get you where you're going, because I can guarantee you the phone is made for cars. It's not made for a 13.6 wide 53-foot truck route. They have routes specifically made for us truck drivers, and they have routes specifically made for cars. So most of the time, Google's GPS is only made for cars. So trust me, never use your phone if you don't know what you're doing, because it can kill you the way you come up on a low bridge. Now you in a pickle, or you turn on the street, you get stuck in the ditch, or you just somewhere to where it's dangerous and it's unsafe for you and everybody else. So don't do that just don't do that if you're new. So, like me, I'm a Rand McNally girl. So, let me try to get you guys zeroed in here. But on this, that is the screen. I don't even know what y'all can see or what y'all can't see. Okay, let's do it this way. It really just depends on your GPS. My GPS is not going to be the same as the next person's. So hold up, let me try to get. I'm hoping that y'all can see. So let's see how we can do this. All right, so you're gonna go to Truck GPS. This one is a slight different from the older one I got, but most of these GPSs are the same. But on this one, you're gonna go into search, and you can just type the address as you have it, and it'll come up. But if you want to go to the typical address setup, on most truck GPSs. You're going to go to guided search, that little square, then you're going to go to new location. And like I said, you know, if the address just won't show up, like if 2 West Bumblefuck don't show up, you can do it by intersections after you done Google searched it. So a lot of times on these GPSs, as far as where you want to stop at for your truck stops, you know, you can do a truck stop search along the route. So say for me, like I said, I drive about 5 hours before I'll do my 30-minute break. So typically each 100 miles is 2 hours to drive. So I know that I need to get 250 miles before I need to stop. So on this one, you're going to go to the search icon and all these little things across here, you're going to put travel center. That'll show you all the truck stops. So I'm going to keep scrolling until I find something that's about 250 miles. And a lot of times on these GPSs, it'll say one thing when you first look at it, but then when you press on it, it's going to have more miles than what it initially said. I don't know why it does that, but it do. So that's how you can go about finding, you know, the truck stops. Like a lot of times you can search where you need to stop, you know, along the route, but obviously you want to be sitting still when you search. So, but obviously when you first start off driving, you know that you're going to have to stop for your 30-minute break. So you type in your address first, you know, just to let the GPS see where you're going, and then you search your first stop where you want to stop within, you know, the time that you know you want to stop. Or, you know, a lot of times too, you might just come up on a place like a rest area. You might just come up on it, but that's not planning, just trying to surprise or hope that you come up on something. You can just pretty much plan it before you pull off. Like I said, every 100 miles is you know, an average of 2 hours to drive, and every 50 miles is an average of an hour. So like I said, if I drive 5 hours, then I know that's 250 miles that I want to, you know, stop. Or if I just drive 3 hours, I know that's 150 miles I need to stop out. So that's pretty much it, you know. Like I said, just know where you want to stop. And oh yeah, fuel. You gotta count. You gotta definitely count in the fuel calculation. Like for this Freightliner Cascadia, each third of a quarter of a tank for more, because even on my last truck it was about the same miles per gallon, and for each quarter of a tank it is 300 miles. So an average truck Freightliner can go about 1,200 miles to a full tank. So if I know that my trip is, let's just say my trip is 700 miles, and maybe my trip is 700 miles, and on this the blue hand is the depth, the white hand is the fuel. So I gotta go 700 miles. I know that a half a tank only gives me 600 miles, so I know I need to fuel. Most likely I'm gonna need to fuel extra, because why would I want to fuel just enough for my trip, and then when I get there, who's to say that is truck stops nearby? So I want to fuel enough to where I'm comfortable enough to either make it to the next destination or make it to a truck stop. So most likely, matter of fact, I probably would just fill up if it was me. But like, you always want to count that. You always want to have enough fuel for the trip you're going on, plus more, so that you can make it to the next stop, or you can make it to the next truck stop. So the way you calculate that is you do the miles per gallon. But they say that an average truck, like, you know, just average bad truck with bad mileage, gets between 5 to 6 miles per gallon. So you can use that calculation to get extra fuel, because you never can have too much fuel. I mean, you probably don't want to fuel too much, especially if it's close to the end of the week, but that's another video all in itself on my trip. So the main things you want to consider when you trip planning is where you're going to stop at, how long you're going to drive before you take your 30-minute break, do you got enough fuel for the trip you're going on, plus more. Those are, and like I said, where are you going through? Like what states have low bridges? You know, also too, like when you put the address into your GPS, you want to look at the route. Because a lot of times you want to see if there's going to be tons of tolls. Can you take an alternate route? And even if you can take an alternate route, you want to make sure that, because obviously, say there's a route that's tolls, but then there's a route with no tolls. Obviously, the route with no tolls is going to have more miles than the route with tolls. That's why they put tolls, because they know that way it's a lot faster to get there. You have to go that way to really save money on fuel. So do it make sense to save more money on fuel or to pay a little bit for tolls? I think I'll pay a little bit for tolls so I can save more money on the fuel, because fuel is more costly than the tolls. So you can choose, you can look at your route to even just see where you're going. So let me see. I'm about to pull this up real quick.
Proceed to the highlighted route.
I'm still kind of learning this new GPS because it's not like my other one. But I'm trying to pull up the route. There we go. Yeah. So once you get really experienced, matter of fact, just know that a truck only belongs on interstates, major highways, major streets, and major roads. If it's like a little road or a street, or matter of fact, if it's a residential area, don't take no chances to take a truck on that road. So if the street that you're looking at within your directions looks like it's a residential area, you need to reroute that, because most likely that's trying to take you down a crazy street. But if you set your GPS with the boundaries that it should have, you know, most of the time it won't take you there. Sometimes it will though. These GPSs, I've had the GPS take me to a cemetery one time. I'm like, how the hell is a shipper and the cemetery one and the same? GPS, you must be smoking crack or something, because I don't know how in the hell you get cemetery, shipper mixed up. But yeah, like I said, let me try to show you this, but I don't know if y'all, I really hope y'all can see this. But these are directions of where you will be going. So you pretty much look at all these and decipher, okay, dang, is that where a street that a truck belong on? Like most of these are major highways and byways and pretty much interstates. So I know that interstates, highways, and all that, they are big enough to have a truck drive on it. That's why I said this comes in handy, because if you look at where you're coming from and try to, you know, see where you're going, you can kind of see if there's major, like, you know, no-nos, because these have all the low bridges listed in there. Let me sit y'all down for a quick second. Yeah, these have all the, like the low bridge clearances and all that stuff. Let's say I was going to Nevada. You just pretty much, like, you open up your map. Okay, we're going to open up the map. And it's going to be, the first few pages are the pages talking about low clearances. So you can open up and we're going to look for Nevada. We're going to find Nevada. And here is Nevada. And where you see Nevada at, is listing all the highways and places that the truck should not be. So that's why I said I want to know what states I'm traveling through, so that way I can look through this index and see in that state which highways are no-nos, so that I can know, okay, well, if I see this highway, I need to get off, because I know that I'm about to come up on a low clearance bridge that I'm not supposed to be on, because like I said, this truck is 13 feet and 6 inches high, so anything 13.6 and below, don't go that way or you're going to be in trouble. So I might have to make a part 2, because like I said, I'm sleepy, and I'm hoping that I covered it good. With trip planning, you know, it really comes with, you know, just experience, but I mean, a lot of the major things is knowing those low clearances and what you should not be on, because safety, you have to learn that. And if you were a trainer that's not teaching you, then you need to ask for another trainer, because that's the whole purpose of you being on a trainer's truck. They're supposed to be showing you these things, and part of the training is supposed to be trip planning, because you can't be cost effective or make money if you're not planning trips right, because that can cost you fuel, it can cost you time, and time is money. So if you're not doing it right, you can really lose money, whether you're a company driver or on an op. So that's just my 2 cents for now on trip planning. I hope that answered your question. I believe your name was Rudy. I could be wrong, Rudy Johnson. If I got it wrong, I'm sorry. But yeah, guys, let's be safe. I know I'm probably stealing Uncle Ricky's thing, but yeah, let's keep clicking them let's keep clicking those switches, and we gonna stay out the ditches. Yeah, girl, cause time is the essence. Gotta make better time up in, cause we gonna have to love each other, not judge each other, cause I never judge y'all, and the sister definitely love y'all.